that we cringe on education, so we choose to be dumb. But I read about the times we was longer for one. Relic in the corner, couldn't eat with the dog. Evolution, the revolution, make us sleep with the fog.
Hey, how y'all doing? This is the Glow Podcast. And the first thing that I must say is, first of all, welcome. But the second thing that I must say is, y'all all know that food is absolutely nothing without the seasoning. And so for all of you guys who joined us last week, I was holding it down for the crew, but I am so absolutely happy to have my crew back because they are definitely the seasoning. So welcome, seasoning.
Well, sure, appreciate it. Well, sure, appreciate it.
Yes. So this week we definitely have something special for you guys. I feel like every week we have something special. But this week, I believe that this is definitely something that everyone has gone through. So our topic is politics in the workplace and in sports. So I'm gonna just let you marinate, think on that for just a second out there because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So I know my sister gonna have a lot to say about this topic because my nephew, he is going through some things right now. He's only 15, y'all, and already experiencing politics in the workplace, which is his sports, which is basketball. But yes, I'm definitely gonna tip off by saying I ran this by sister and mom. I ran this by them last week because we were looking for a topic to speak about because Naisha was not going to be able to join us. However, sister was like, pump your brakes, because we got to have Naisha on this show because she is a specialist in HR. And of course, I know she has some stories to tell. Boom, boom, boom. So anyway, I want everybody else to say hi and then we're going to get into it. What's up, ladies?
Hey, everybody. So good to be here.
Everyone.
Hey.
I missed my sisters and my bonus mama. Good to see y'all faces.
Good to see
you too, girl. You too.
Yes. So, like we said, welcome, and we're gonna get into it, but we know that this is something that goes on an everyday basis, and I can definitely speak on it because, as you all know, I am in the realm of union, and so every single week, it does not fail. There's definitely politics going on in the workplace, and I'm so sick of it. That is why I do what I do, because I feel empowered by empowering other people. And just a quick story, my recent boss, she pulled me to the side and she asked me, we had a lunching, and she asked me, well, why do you do this work? What is it about this work? And the first thing that came out of my mouth is, because I can't stand bullies. I cannot stand when corporations bully their employees. I can't stand when someone higher up, whether it be a coach, manager, someone in high regards, up to them, but someone on the top of the totem pole takes advantage of someone that is just joining the forces, or someone who is younger than them, or someone who has at least up to them important title. We are all human beings and we all should be treated accordingly. And so I cannot stand bullies, and I can't stand bullies. Since I was in school, I was telling her that even when I was in school, I would speak up for those who were getting bullied. I'm thankful to God that I was not one of those folks that was bullied. I did not experience any bullying in school, but I experienced it on behalf of someone else. But I always stepped in and like, this ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the cool kids, and I would tell the other cool kids that this is not cool. You should be able to speak to everybody. You should be able to talk to everybody with respect. And that is one of the reasons why I do what I do, because I can't stand bullying. And we all know that this is a form of bullying when you have politics in the workplace, or even when it trickles down to sports, or even when it trickles down to media, or even when it trickles down to anything that you are trying to do, and someone shows favoritism for unbeknownst reasons. Even, okay, we all have favor in some way or some fashion, but that's favor that comes from God. And so people should not be taking advantage of other folks because they don't have the favor that they think that they have. So I'm gonna pass it on to whoever wants to pick it up, because we definitely missed you last week. So hey, what y'all want to say?
Hey. I just want to jump into the sports realm of it.
Okay.
What I don't like about politics and sports, especially as you said, with your nephew, my son, is dealing with right now, is that it affects the kids. They don't have anything to do with the internal politics of it all. They just want to go out there and play their sport and have fun. And when politics is in the mix, then that messes that up. And that's the part that is disheartening to me, because my son should be able to go out there and just ball. He shouldn't have to be worrying about what the coaches got going on and they can't get along and things of that nature. So that's hurting the kids at the end of the day. So that's the part of the politics that I don't like in sports, because the kids have to suffer for what the adults should be able to handle as adults. And it's, it trickles down to being unfair. Politics in sports, or politics in any realm or any setting, really, it's unfair.
Absolutely.
Somebody is going to get the short end of the stick. So in the case that we're talking about right now, it's the kids.
It's always the kids. It's always the kids, except for the favorites, as Lady Boss Leader was saying. So my twin boys recently experienced such. And Amir, several years ago, my oldest son experienced it with basketball. And you are very, very true, very, very correct, Lady of Inspiration. It does affect the kids. My son, my oldest, is a great basketball player. And at one point aspired to, not only play on the high school team, which he did, but he wanted to, go from there into school. But by the time he got to his 11th grade year, he was so over the politics that took place that he was like, I just want to go to school and go home. And that hurt me, because we worked very hard. And keep in mind, it's not just the children who are working hard. Parents got these forms to fill out. You got sports physicals. You got to drive them to this practice, come pick them up, go back, go do this, make sure that they eat, drive them over to this game, drive them over. So I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, because I want to, empower him and fuel his dream. And then he gets on the team in the 11th grade and he's like, I'm over it. And his issue was the favoritism. I remember particularly he was just overwhelmed and in disbelief that one of the players on the team was the son of the coach. And this kid, no disrespect to him, he didn't even want to be on the team. He was not interested. And I asked my son, well, how you know he ain't interested? And he said, Mama, he played like he not interested. He don't even try. And then eventually he just was like, I don't even want to do this. But his father was making him. His father was a lead coach, not just at the school, but even outside the school, like on some of the inner city teams and things. So he had connections and things of that nature. And so instead of him focusing on building up the children and the players who really enjoyed this, who wanted to be there, he put his son in every single time. And eventually it wasn't just my son who felt like, what is the point? What is the purpose? Other players started to feel like that. And that was hurtful for me, because outside of my son shooting around at the park or with his brothers, he has no interest anymore in what used to be his dream.
Wow.
That's hurtful.
That's very impactful.
Yeah. And as parents, we can't get our time back. I can't get my time back for all of that running around that I was doing, and all of that encouraging and buying special drinks and making sure certain foods don't have certain stuff. I mean, come on now, look, somebody owe me a check for all of this. I mean, like, really. And my son really was like, I'm done. I just want to go to school. And when he said it, and there are some kids that really do get affected by the politics, you know, in and off the court that and the field, that they just they do give up. And he did.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Go ahead, Mama.
even in college, you know, your godson,
Yes.
boss lady, lost his scholarship. He lost his chance to shine, you know, and Leah, you almost lost your scholarship because of the politics.
Yes. Yes.
Good point, Mama. Good point.
Yes.
Wow,
So
you just
I
gave me
wanted to
chills.
piggyback off of what Lady Resilience was saying, is that if you have never played sports, or if you've never had a dream, if you never wanted to be an actor, or if you never wanted something so bad, and it was something that killed that dream, you don't understand. But I know it's a lot of people out there. Like for myself, when my mom was just talking about, you know, I almost lost my scholarship over some bull. Oh Lord, over some bull. And I ended up getting my scholarship. I know I talked about this before in one of our previous episodes, and you know, I didn't go full depth, but I was able to get over that hump. And then the next year I had a different coach who was, I don't know, she was probably worse than the coach before, who almost cost me my scholarship. I was able to get my scholarship back because, one, I'm a leader, I'm a boss, and I fought for it. And then I brought in the big guns, my auntie, who is a lawyer. So I brought in the big guns, and she really, you know, before that is God. God is the one who set this up, and he was able to get my scholarship back.
Number one.
First and foremost. But he did that through me being a leader, being a boss, standing up for myself, and then ultimately through my mom, who was like, no, she was in agreements with like, oh, this is not right. And then my auntie, who wrote what needed to be written for me to get my scholarship back, because I was kicked off the team because I was supposed to get punished for something that she didn't even know she was punishing me for. So I stood up and I'm like, where's the rest of the team? Because if this is we're running for a conditioning, that's one thing. Or if we're all being punished for something as a team, that's one thing. But if you're going to think you're going to punish me and not even have a reason to do so, then you got me confused with somebody else. You think I'm about to run these heels. Anyway, fast forward. So the next year, it was worse. And this was the first time. I had been playing softball since I was 19 years old. This is the first time that I was absolutely deflated. She took the air out of me, and I did not want to play anymore. When it becomes to the point where it's not fun anymore, and this is somebody who loves the sport, or who loves acting, or who loves trying to become a doctor, or who loves this, and something happens that is outside of anything, you know, to make you have disdain for the sport, it's a problem. So I just wanted to piggyback off of what Nathan was saying, because she said her son just gave up. He didn't want to, and I know that feeling. And I don't want that to happen to my nephew or anybody else that's on his team, because it's a feeling like no other. And you get that, and you don't want it anymore. You just don't. And I don't want that for anybody.
Yeah. When the kids have to make a decision between the sport that they love and also having to be, you know, surrounded by, included in, or subjected to the BS that has nothing to do with their passion for the sport, that's a hard decision for a lot of people to make. And especially when you are a child who grow up in a household or are raised by a parent or parents who are completely different from what you see in these adults, as Janae are saying, are doing, it makes them be like, you know what, just forget it. And that really is disheartening. And that make the beast come out of any parent.
Okay.
Oh,
I love the way you said that. Mama bear on the way.
Yeah. It
Exactly.
do. I have been that parent multiple times, and it's been a few years since I've had to be that parent, but I recently saw the same thing happen with my twin boys. And this time I was like, okay, let me just take a step back. I'm gonna try to handle it a little different. But it was the same thing, using them, running them, making them go through the ringer when it's practice. But then here we are at the games and they only putting in their favorites. And you know what? And when I say the favorites, I'm talking about the ones who look the part, the ones who are a certain size, a certain height, or the son of somebody, or the kid of the woman in the snack bar, or somebody that the coach was already familiar with because he knew him from the neighborhood, just whatever. And I'm like, here we go with this foolishness again. And this is my little one's first time playing sports, for the school. So they saw the politics, but they're like, it's still kind of like not understanding it, much like my oldest one did, who had been playing basketball from junior high school. So he was able to pick up on it quickly, and so was I. And so I didn't want to discourage my little ones by complaining about the things that I saw. But it was still there. Football season just recently ended, and one of them decided, you know what, I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna try for the basketball team. And my children are not super tall. They're a little taller than my mom, but they're not, what you would consider basketball height. But my son was still encouraged to go and play. He loves the game, and actually he is very good. And the first thing he said when the practice was over, he texted me, and I said, how did it go? And he said, I had a good time. He said, but they picked only the ones that they knew. They picked only the ones that were super tall, and I'm like, that hurt me. He said, I knew that they weren't going to pick me, but I still wanted to try anyway. That's hurtful as a parent, because you just had this young man come up there and show his skill, but you didn't even give him a chance because he doesn't look the part of what you want your team to look like. And that's the issue that I have with sports, which is part of the reason why I've never personally been interested in sports, because I seen it even when I was in high school. These coaches and these principals and these teachers, and they have their favorites, and it's a shame. It really is. And it's not just your favorites. How about the ones that don't deserve to be on the team or in the game, but because of their skill, these teachers are pushing them through, giving them grades that they haven't earned. These folks is coming out of school barely knowing how to write their name or fill out a job application. But because they have a skill set, right? They making the team look good. They making the school and the stats look good. These teachers are just pushing them by. I mean, that's a problem too. That's politics as well.
So
totally agree.
My grandson is playing football and basketball, and he's usually the smallest one on the team, but he does not let that stop him. And I call him a beast.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate him still trying. And I respect my baby for continuing to move forward. But, it's only so much that a fragile kid who's still developing themselves and their mindset, it's only so much that they can take. Unfortunately, this thing is big. This ain't just, at your son's school or at the school Leo went to college with, or my son's school. Like, this is everywhere. And sure, we can speak up about it, and we can go see school officials and have conversations with coaches. And oh my goodness, wait a minute. And I can't stand when they act one way towards the kids, but then when they get in the face of Mama Bear, they're a completely different person. But you can still tell that there's some BS going on here, because you see the results afterwards. Y'all ain't made no different changes or nothing. So my hat goes off to you, Nay. I know you already have a lot on your plate, but if they messing with your son, God bless them.
Yes.
They about to see a whole other side, a lady inspiration.
Yes. It's not just my son, because in this particular case, it's not even about the politics between the kids and the players. This is politics of the adults and the coaches, and favoritism, and you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. So, but that trickles down to them. That's messing up their season.
It does. It does.
Yeah. And I had to tell my kid, don't worry about the noise. I'll take care of the noise. You go out there and play your ball, and I'll take care of the rest. Don't worry about the politics that's going on and who said what. Don't you worry about that. You block all that out. You go out there and play your game like you've been doing. Lean on me for the rest.
Yes.
That's a shame they even have to deal with that.
As we talking about it, I want to talk about one time, same nephew, he was playing basketball, and I was at a game, and it was a little boy that was on the team, and when he got on the court, he was looking all in the bleachers. He was not running up and down the court with the team. He was worrying about what was going on at the snack bar. He like absolutely no
Uninterested.
dedication, no passion for the game. And that's another thing when parents live vicariously through their kids because it's something that they weren't able to accomplish or go as far as they wanted to go. You can't put that your dream on your child. You got to have your child and let your child have their own dream. And so that's what I was thinking about when you said the coach's son played and didn't want to. It's no way if someone does not have a passion for something, there's absolutely no way they're going to be good at it because they don't want to be. And as a parent, you have to be able to realize and recognize that and let them have their own dream.
Right.
And that's another piece of politics that goes along with it because it's like, doggone well your child does not want to be here. Why are you making him or her?
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
And that's cruel too. That's cruel too.
It is.
Absolutely.
Ladies, this topic here, I'm telling you, this can go on for a couple hours. So let's talk about this politics over in the workplace.
Okay.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that.
I just want to say, I know I've definitely been passed over for positions that I deserved, that I earned due to politics. So that's how I want to start that off.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back to favoritism.
And and I know that this is a Christian show, but when I was in LA, I used to call and vent to my sister, and I would say it's not who you know, but it's not what you know, but who you know with a B instead. It's, make that rhyme. It's not who you know, what you know, is who you with a B instead. And that's definitely what was going on in Hollywood. That was Devil's Playground. I'm glad I'm out of there. Right, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I had my little time in commercial print and acting myself, and I had an agent. I'm not sure if she's still around, so I'm just going to keep her name out of it. And I remember I was up for a role in a very popular movie that people still watch today. It's just one of their movies that, when it come on TV, you'd be like, oh, I remember this. And I was informed that I needed to do some things that I was not raised to do.
Okay.
In order to seal the deal.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just going to put it out there. I don't have anything against anybody who loves everybody and loves their own kind and whatever else the case may be. But that's just not me. That's not how I was raised. That's not what I believe in. I'm not interested, never have been enticed or nothing when it comes to same-sex relationships or, sleeping with folks just to get to where you need to be. And that's what I was tasked with. And I think I was about 19 years old at the time. And she tried to downplay it and make it seem like it's not a big deal. I know you're not like that. I know that you have this strong background in this. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, you're not going to convince me that this is only a one-time thing, because I honestly believe when it comes to certain stuff, if you allow yourself to get involved that one time, another situation is it's gonna happen again. It's gonna be a second time. It's gonna be a third time. And here you are now trying to convince yourself that you are not of this particular world or a part of this particular lifestyle, and you're only doing it to advance yourself. But at this point now, you've been sucked in. And I remember telling her, this ain't going to work. And even though I felt like I was grown at 19, which I wasn't, but at that time I felt like I was grown, I still was like, let me talk to my mom about this. And I not only spoke with my mom about it, I spoke with my pastor about it as well. And he was like, oh, well, then I guess this ain't for you then. Because that's not getting ready to happen. And my mom said the same thing. And I had already felt that way, but I was like, well, this is what they saying. And my mom was like, yeah, well then, The hurtful part about that is this particular agent told me that if I did not, and if she had to call the power that bees and tell them that I was going to decline this offer, that I was never going to work again. I wasn't going to audition anymore. I wasn't going to work. I wasn't going to have her as an agent. And I thought, okay, because I thought that my talent would supersede and surpass, what she was saying. And so I started getting less and less auditions afterwards. And then when I would go to the auditions, they would make you fill out this little form and you had to put down who your agent was or, who you were signed to. I didn't have anybody to put down. And it started to feel like as soon as they saw my name, I was immediately either dismissed or overlooked or, I started to see that what she said, what she spoke life into, was happening. And it did. I ended up finding out later that it wasn't about my talent. It never was about the talent. It was about the simple fact that she was more well connected than I was. And I guess I embarrassed her or cost her some money or whatever the situation may have been. And they have this thing in the industry called, like they blackball you. And that's pretty much what happened. I decided that the way that I was raised and my Christian background and foundation was more important than me getting my face and my name out there on the big screen. And some may say that was the worst decision that I ever made. Nope. But for me, looking at this, some 15, plus years later, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that I made the worst decision because these folks in the entertainment industry may have access to the lifestyle and to the money and and to the name brands and whatever else the case may be, but they not happy. They killing themselves left and right. You know what I'm saying?
They abusing drugs.
Yes, they do, and I cannot help but to think that a lot of that is what's killing them on the inside for the things that they've had to endure or what they allowed themselves to go through because they played that game with the devil. They played that game. They sold themselves for that. And it's interesting because me, middle class, literally one paycheck under the freeway myself, and for them to have access to that type of income and you can't find nothing else to do other than get yourself caught up in some drugs or killing yourself or some pills or some whatever. I'm like, that just goes to show you money is not everything. It's the root of, it's not just what the word says about it being the root of all evil. I don't think the problem is a person having money. Don't get me wrong. The issue is when money becomes your reasoning for why you do what you do.
Exactly. And that's the love problem. Of money.
The love of it.
Love of money.
That's the problem.
The root of all evil.
Yeah.
Not necessarily having it. When you put that over everything else, that's when it starts to become an issue.
Then it becomes your God.
That's right. Yes, Mom. And you can't tell me, not just in past history, we talking about recent, we talking about current history, we talking about right now, where you seeing people who have access to unlimited amounts of money and unlimited amounts of, different things that we all are busting our butts to be able to, save up for, to enjoy or to go and do or expose our children to, and they have it like nothing, and it's still not enough. It's still not enough for them. You know what I'm saying? Like Nay said, they killing themselves. They killing themselves over it. They children have been exposed to the greatest things in life. Yes. And it's not enough. And so that's why I say it hurt back then at 19 years old to have experienced that. But today, I'm feeling like that was the best thing that probably could have happened to me.
Not only that, Nation, I definitely can identify with being blackballed because I don't remember his name, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. When we were supposed to go to Las Vegas with
I know his name.
Was his name Adam?
Yes, it was.
Adam.
We just not gonna go ahead and put that label out there.
Supposedly blackballed me. But you know what? I'd rather be blackballed any day than hellbound. And I was not about to sell my soul for no one or nothing, nobody, nothing.
Yep.
So that I could try to get ahead in the game, because God has his own path for me. And even at 23, 20, when I was out in LA, I mean, I wasn't into God as I am now. However, it was something that was telling me, no, this is not right. This is not for you. Yeah. And like I said, I would rather be blackballed any day than be hellbound.
And that something was God. That was your foundation kicking in, speaking to you. So
exactly,
that was him. Exactly. Amen. And I'd rather build my riches up in heaven. I'm gonna just tell you right now, because what I get here, I can't take that with me. So I'd rather go on and stack it up in my mansion in the sky. With the one and only.
I totally agree.
Amen.
So let's talk about, so now we know that we got these politics, and everybody knows in sports, unfortunately, it's affecting our innocent kids. And then, of course, it's in the entertainment industry. And not only have Lady Boss Leader and I experienced such, for our audience and our viewers out there, y'all can, you can rattle off, a dozen people, that's going through it right now, that's in the entertainment industry. It's just an unfortunate. I don't have anything against the entertainment industry. I think the entertainment industry is necessary to an extent, but I think that some of the things that come along with it is just a shame. And it really is. And I feel bad for those who were not strong enough to say, you know what, this is just not that important to me, because you never get around your consequences and your lessons that God intends for you to learn. It's going to come one way or another. And then you end up finding out that your name and your money don't mean nothing when God is ready for you to learn that lesson, right? So we're going to go ahead and leave that at that. But let's move it on over here to this good workplace.
Woo.
Bless it.
And that's a whole nother beast in itself, which, Nation, we know you the expert at that. HR, I know you have some stories for that. I just must say.
Yes, ma'am. We don't have enough time.
No, we never do.
But
that's right, we never do.
We never do.
Let me tell you about this good politics in the workplace. So first of all, I did not intend to land in HR and human resources. It just kind of happened. It found me. I didn't find it. And my bachelor's degree helped me to climb the ladder up into a senior leadership level in human resources. And I'm gonna tell you, that's one of them ladders that I just wish I could just walk back down the other way. Because the higher you get in certain fields, again, entertainment industry, the more you're subjected to things that you like, this don't make no sense. Is it just me? It's like putting on that itchy Christmas sweater that you're like, I got to get this off of me. That material that just be like, That's kind of how it feels. And it really is an unfortunate thing, because I decided to go ahead and continue moving forward in my path in human resources, because I really wanted to be a voice for those who did not have a voice, because it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting on the other side of that table, right? On the other side of that phone. And I was like, I just want to be there for somebody. I want to give that person who made some mistakes in the past, a chance, especially when they're showing that they're trying. Right. I want to be that one that looks for an alternative versus, we just going to terminate you because you don't look like you fit in. So that's kind of how I decided, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and take one for the team. But
Or you just get passed over.
Yes.
For promotions.
Yes, ma'am.
Even though you doing the work, even though you training others, and the others who you train are getting the promotion.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Because
you want to know why Jerry is cousins with the CEO, and even though you didn't went to school or you've been there for 10 years.
Wait a minute.
You told Jerry everything he know. How Jerry came and got the job now.
Wait a second. Let me run this down to you real quick. So there are certain companies and organizations where you have to be 16 or 18 or 21 in order to work there. And one of my previous employers had a rule where you needed to be at least 18 because of the industry. It was the manufacturing industry. And they were dealing with some expensive things and had some, situations where sometimes our people needed to go into the homes of other people. At the end of the day, you needed to be 18 because if you stole something or did something wrong, they needed to be able to press charges against you. That's point blank what it is. And people need to know that. That's the reason why you can go work at the fast food place when you're 16 years old. The majority of them, they're starting to slowly change that as well too, making it 18 years old. But in this particular company, you needed to be 18. So I want you to tell me why I can't interview somebody who, let's say, I remember one time I had this fantastic young lady who was actually offered an opportunity from another manager, not myself. But when I was doing her processing her paperwork, I noticed that her birthday put her at the point where she was like 17 and some months, close to her 18th birthday. And I thought, did they just overlook this or what's going on? We'll turn around and find out the manager, he didn't pay attention to the year. Okay. He just assumed that she was already the right age. She absolutely was well deserving of the job, highly intelligent young lady. But because of the rules, regulations, politics, whatever you want to call it, I had to go in and be the one to let this young lady know that we couldn't move forward with her onboarding, her position because of her age. And we needed to be fair across the board. And she understood that. And we asked her, come back as soon as you turn 18 and see if we still have something for you. So that's not the bad part. The bad part is, why is the owner's granddaughter working for the company during the summer breaks, and she in the 10th grade?
Oh.
Why is the grandson who only
politics,
a year wait,
politics.
And I said, no, you know what?
Politics,
and I didn't even know. So this is the other thing.
Let's
Me
pray.
being a leader.
Let's pray.
We got to
pray. It's time for prayer, my dear. Hallelujah. Glory to God. It's a hot topic. We know.
Wait a minute.
Part two.
So I'm the HR